Give me some brew and I might just chill, but I'm the type to light another joint like Cypress Hill. I still do be spit loogies when I puff.
Alright, my name is Houston and I'm back with another one. This time we're back with the Oreo 4s. And the last time I did a video on these, I had a pair of the Flight Falcons that I was going to do a midsole swap on, but it didn't work out. Those other midsoles had the air unit here was yellow, like a bright yellow, and it's supposed to be white. And the Flight Falcons are a bad shoe to use for donors. The midsole is not that good, and it's not as durable either. And what I did was I went and picked up a pair of Dub Zeros for donors, and the Dub Zeros are a lot better. I have one here. I picked this one up for $9, and it's real beat up. So this is a shoe I didn't want to restore. I just needed the midsole off of them. And this pair is extremely beat, and it's old. It's from 2000 and I think it's 5. The tag says 3805, and they're extremely dirty. And the good thing about this is it has the white midsole. The air unit is white on the midsole. It's a little foggy here, so I don't know if I'll be able to clear that up. I'm gonna try though. But the midsole's in good condition. It's not chipped or torn or anything. It just has paint chipping on it, but since these are going to be repainted, that doesn't mean anything. I could just, because they're going to be stripped anyway. And the good thing about these is the glue is already dried up on them, so the midsole will come off without any heat gun or any tools or acetone or anything. And let me show you what I mean. You see, you can tear this apart by hand. And I did it on the other one. The only thing I had to do was cut the threading here, because look at this, the glue's already dried off. The midsole will come off by hand. And I went ahead and did it on the other one. Let me see where I put it. So here's the other Dub Zero. I pulled it off by hand like I said, and I just cut the threading off. Here's the upper of it. And the glue is dried, so it came off pretty easy. And here, let me get the midsole. So that's trash there. So here's the midsole from that shoe. Like I said, the glue is dried, so they just came apart easily. I didn't even have to apply any heat or anything to it, so it just peeled off, and that's what was left. So let me show you what it will look like. Here goes the other Oreo 4. Let me get these out of the way. So here's the other Oreo 4. Here's the midsole here. We'll just place it in there. And here's the upper. So that's kind of what it's gonna look like. But in this area here, it needs to be shaved down some to get a correct fitment on it. It's got a little space in the here on the midsole. The back part looks good. Everything's fitting perfectly there. It's just this area I'm gonna have to shave it a little bit, like right here. So this area will be shaved down, and I'm gonna shave some of the front too, along here, all this right here, and a little bit here. And the back part, back section needs, I can leave that alone. It's just a little bit there that needs to be shaved down. So the first thing I'm gonna do is to strip these midsoles down and get them prepped for paint. And to get, I think I'm gonna have to mix a color, because I don't have the correct color that the midsole should be. It's got kind of like a very light gray with the black sprinkles on it, with the black speckling like this. And I think I should try and match the color with this one, but I think it's a little lighter than that. It's kind of like white with gray mixed in a little bit. So anyway, I'll see what what colors I can come up with, but for now I'm just gonna strip the midsoles down, and I'll be back when with paint already on them, so you can see what they look like before I start shaving this stuff down. So we'll be back with that one. Alright, we're back, and this is where we're at now. Just like a little update. I got all the paint stripped off of these, off of the midsole completely on both pairs. You can see it right there. All the paint's removed. You can see how the midsoles look when they're bare. It's just got, it looks like they're cracked, but they're not. Yeah, and these midsoles, they're like, they're foam. They're not hard plastic or anything. So any little holes like this right here, if you use acetone on it, it'll eat right through that, and that hole will start getting bigger and bigger. So I use this stuff right here, the Dad's Easy Spray, to take it off. Just brush it on there, and then use one of these little Brillo pads or something with a little rough texture. Just wipe it off. Paint comes off real easy. Took me maybe 10 minutes at the most to get it all off. So what I'm gonna do now is go ahead and start mixing up some colors to get the correct color it should be, which is like kind of like a white grayish look. And then I'll be back after paint. I'm gonna start grinding down to make the fitment correct, so I'll be doing that, and we'll see on the next update. Alright, so I'm back with the finished midsole, and let's take a look at what it looks like now. It's fully painted, and what I did was I put down a white base coat. I think I did 2 coats of that, and then I mixed a custom color of gray with white. No, it was white, and I added 6 drops of gray because I don't have light gray. And I painted it that color, and it came out like this midsole here. Try and get it up, focus in. It came out that gray right here, this color gray, and then I went over it with 2 coats of white, and it came out with the correct color, which is like a white with grayish color. Then I did the speckling on it. First I just got a toothpick and put some black paint on it, and then just started poking at the midsoles to give it the larger darker spots there. Then I used the toothbrush and dipped in black paint and just flicked the rest on it to give it the speckle effect, and it came out pretty nice. So let's see what the shoe is gonna look like. Oh, and I also finished cleaning up the excess glue and the midsole pieces that were stuck to this. It took me like 30 minutes of scrubbing it, but I got everything off of there and washed it and cleaned it up. And here's what it's gonna look like. You can see it's gonna look pretty good when I'm done with it. Try to adjust the focus here. Yep. Yeah, so that's pretty much what the shoe is gonna look like. So now all I gotta do is start gluing. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. I'm gonna start doing the back section, then the middle, and then the toe box. So I'm gonna get started on it, and I'll be back when I have the back part glued, because I already got all the old glue off of there. So it's gonna have a pretty good stick on there. Got as much of it off as I could. So we'll see what it looks like in a minute. Alright, so I'm back, and like I said, we glued this part in, the midsole. And on this one, I left it like this so I can show you the steps that you're going to need to do. And the finished shoe is in the background there, and we'll take a look at that in a minute. Alright, so what I did was I glued this part first to make sure it goes on straight. I glued it along the line there. And what I did is I got bar cement in this little bottle here. What I did is I put it on the midsole there, and then on the outside here. And I used some toothpicks here just to spread it along evenly, like along the lines there. Just make sure it's tacky and sticky. You just spread it out like that. And then I put the outsole here onto the part where it goes. Make sure it's lined up. And you don't have to wait 5 minutes or 7 minutes. You can just put it on there just to make sure the fit is right, and then just apply pressure to it and it'll stay stuck like that. You can see it glued right. So what I have left to do is this part of the midsole, and then glue the part here, put glue under there, stick it together. And what I use is rubber bands. I wrap them around the shoe, and then I tie it with the shoelace, and it keeps the pressure on there and it keeps it straight to where it's supposed to be, like that. Let it dry for a couple hours, and then I move on to another section, which will probably be the middle part here, and then have the middle done like that, and then do the back part last, and let it dry for 24 hours before you start wearing them. And what you'll have is, here's the finished shoe. Let me show you what it looks like. So this is what it should look like when you're done with it. This is the finished product. Midsole is completely glued on. There's no mistakes. So when I went back and did touch-ups, like areas like right here, this part in the front, the glue didn't stick. So I went in there and took a toothpick and so an X-Acto knife and cut out the old glue that didn't stick. Cleaned it with alcohol and a Q-tip, and then reapplied the glue, and it stuck this time. You can see it there. The same here. Most of the top didn't stick. So I had to go back and remove the glue and re-glue it again. And it stays stuck this time. It's not coming off. So that's pretty much it. It's real easy. All you gotta do is take your time with it, and anybody can do this. Like I said, just get you a good donor like this. This midsole is solid. It's not gonna crumble. Since it's been well worn, that hardened it up a bit. It's a lot firm, a lot firmer than the old one, and everything's good on it. So here's a final look at it. And these are ready to go. So I hope you get to try it on your own. If not, we'll see what other projects I can get into. I'll be on the lookout for some more shoes to restore. And until then, I'll catch you on the next one. Alright, so before we go, I wanted to show you that I went ahead and went back and cleaned them up and did all the little things like the paint, touch up some paint around here. There was excess glue here. I went and cleaned it off with a little, I think I got some here. These little alcohol wipes. I just put it on one of them little popsicle sticks and wrapped it around it, and got in between there because the bottom was glued here. It's just the top that needed to be re-glued. So I cleaned it. Applied new glue with a toothpick around the side, and let it dry for a little bit while I cleaned up the paint around the edges here. And then I came back and just pressed it together while the glue was still tacky, and it stuck. There's no spacing or anything on them. It's nice and clean. Painted around the edges here where the glue had was showing, and it was pretty glossy around there. So I went over it with flat black paint, cleaned up the back here. There was extra glue here. I cleaned it off, and some glue here. I cleaned it off too. Let me lower the camera a little bit. So here's how the back looks. I cleaned up some of the big splotches that were there. Same here, there was a little bit of pieces where the glue stuck to the midsole when I took the tape off of it, and it peeled off some of the paint, so I went back and repainted it. Like I said, little touch-ups like that. And this shoe's got many more years added to its life, which is cool because I like this one over the newer releases. The leather on here is a lot softer, and it gives off that leather smell. You can smell it from a good ways off. And the Jumpman's still in there, you can see it there. But like I said, these are the 99 Oreos, 1999 release, and they've been fully restored. Here's the other shoe, and I like the way that the yellowing on the Jumpman looks. It shows its age. So yeah, anyway, I'm on to the next project, and we'll see what I get into next. So until next time, like I said, I encourage you to do your own restorations. You don't gotta pay anybody to do anything. Just buy your own supplies, and there's enough free information out there to learn, because that's how I'm doing it. So I'll catch you on the next one.